And then the other questions you want to ask yourself as a buyer is like, how healthy is the HOA from a financial standpoint? Well, I think the main thing any buyer needs to do is just ask questions, ask about the details of the HOA. What are the restrictions? What are the bylaws and the covenants that are kind of the extra set of rules that you have to follow as part of that HOA? And then the other questions you want to ask yourself as a buyer is like, how healthy is the HOA from a financial standpoint? And so what that means is you can oftentimes get a schedule or an active budget for the HOA and figure out how much do they have in reserves. Do they have any in reserves? Is there pending lawsuits that are like out there that could affect the HOA? But you want to see that you have a healthy financial statement on those HOAs and that they can cover upcoming expenses. Another way you can do that is ask for the recent minutes from the last few HOA meetings, so you can read what happened. What are they talking about? What's going on? That's all on the buyer side, that you can request those HOA documents as part of your diligence process. So we encourage that. The other thing, Tucker, is there's usually an HOA transfer fee when you buy. Sometimes it's $100, sometimes it's $250. In neighborhoods like West Haven or some of the other higher end amenity rich communities, there may be as much as like a 1% fee that you have to pay that's gets put into the pot for the HOA when you buy, so it builds up those reserves. So the closing attorneys used to always call this the welcome to the neighborhood fee, but it's to fund those HOA projects. So when you buy, sometimes there's an extra fee associated with that. So you want to ask those kind of questions whenever you're buying into a community that is part of an HOA.
Yeah, and you hit the hammer on the head when you talked about having some type of reserve, that 10% reserve. There are communities that we try to stay away from that are conventional or cash communities where you don't have that 10% reserve. And what that means is they don't have enough money to cover all the expenses. So they lose out on FHA loans. And so you're losing part of the community that can come in and buy in those developments. And we're just trying to protect our buyers from those types of situations.
They want to look for a healthy HOA, and it kind of depends on who's running it and how well it's run and how well they plan in advance for maintenance.